Welcome to the Euro Lounge.
Talk to me.
Benny, can you tell me the craziest car that you've worked on?
Craziest cars. Well, I've worked on a lot of crazy cars, but I mean, I do have a cool story about a Carrera GT I worked on once.
Really?
Yeah.
Like the V10 Carrera GT.
The V10 original Carrera GT.
That's crazy.
Not the Porsche Boxster with the Carrera GT body kit on.
An actual Carrera
An actual
GT.
Carrera GT. So, I don't know if you know much about those cars, but they're pretty unique.
I've heard they're dangerous to drive.
They are very dangerous to drive and very uncomfortable to drive.
So you drove it.
Of course I drove it. But first I had to fix it.
So what was wrong with it?
So it had a misfire when it was getting really hot or when it was getting up to temperature. And that vehicle has gone from shop to shop to shop. It was even at a Porsche dealership. I think it was one of our local dealerships here. And I don't know how much time they've spent on it. But anyways, we've had it in the shop. And this was back when this is probably 10 years ago. When I was young and I was really
You're
at the
still
beginning
green.
getting into the industry. But I really liked diagnosing complicated issues. And my boss at that time really said, hey, take your time, take it apart. We got to figure it out. The customer's paying. We said, fantastic. It's a Carrera GT after all.
Yeah.
So I took it apart, I guess, to make a long story short. It had a misfire when it was getting up to temperature. That car has 2 engine control modules. I believe the dealer changed 2 computers. Other shops changed spark plugs, coil packs. I think even they changed or swapped out the ignition injectors.
Okay.
They've gone through all the common stuff. Changed swapped out all the cam position sensors and everything else. So I ended up actually taking a bunch of things apart, confirming a lot of things, and then I took the wiring harness apart.
Wow.
What I found, because we did obviously check the circuits for spark plug, ignition coil, just make sure the wiring is okay. Everything checked out okay. What I found is when I took the engine wiring off, I found that the one wire that was going to one of the ignition coils was actually pinched.
Ooh.
And when it was getting really hot, the resistance would go up. And that was causing a misfire. And it was really hard to diagnose when it was in the vehicle because you would have to physically disconnect the ignition coil to actually test the harness, and you wouldn't be able to do when the vehicle was running.
But you pulled the whole
I pulled the whole harness
out.
off. I said, okay, we got to get the bottom of this. Everything's been replaced and it's been checked.
Wow.
And I found that. And again, dealerships tend to replace everything on vehicles.
Yeah.
There's it's not charging, new battery, new alternator, new starter. Done. Automatically.
Yeah.
And I mean, why they do that is a question up for debate. But I assume that if they would have spent enough time on that vehicle, maybe they would have ended up changing the whole wiring harness.
Yeah, probably.
And I don't remember if we definitely didn't change the whole wiring harness, but I don't remember if we changed the entire circuit or that entire wire. I don't remember what the repair was.
Or if it was a patch.
Or if it was a patch, but we didn't end up changing the whole wiring harness. It's a Carrera GT. I mean,
How much is the wiring harness for that?
That would have been $10,000. Easily. Well, it could, yeah. So,
wow, that's a
because
pretty
they're
cool
just
story.
not on the shelf. So that was cool. I mean, obviously, you feel it's fulfilling when you're young, just getting into it, and you're working on this $500,000 car.
Yeah, the man who fixed a problem that no one else could. Right here, Benny.